Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisahealyourself, and today it's finally time to take down my winter decorations. I love winter decorations, and being in Canada, I take my tree down right after Christmas, the one with all the decorations that we've decorated, but I leave the rest of my decorations, even my trees that are flocked without decorations, up all the way until just before Valentine's Day. The reason I do that is because I really love to enjoy this season. And in Canada, we have snow, and January is a cold, blistery month, as well as February. And it's just wonderful to have the decorations up and make your home as cozy as possible for as long as possible. But since this week is Valentine's Day, it's finally time for the decorations to come down. Especially since it hasn't been that cold this winter and we don't even have snow outside right now, which is actually unbelievable for February in Canada. So today I'm going to take down my decorations. My dad is over this morning. He was having a coffee and he is going to help me, which is just wonderful. So he's going to be doing a few projects around the house and helping here and there while he can. The first thing I like to do is just take my decorations down. I go from room to room usually, and I make a large space on my table or my kitchen island to gather everything in one spot. I usually just go from room to room and place things in categories. So if I put snowmen on one side of the table and I'll put pictures over here in one area. I really like to gather like things. I love these little houses and I plan to keep them up because they're so cute, but I'll take down the trees. So I take down all the Christmas looking trees, the Christmas mugs, and any Christmas dishes that I have around the house. I also take down all the bulbs that I place around and the little greenery and everything that I place around. This is sometimes a tedious job, but it's actually very methodical. It's actually very calming if you do it at a very slow pace and you enjoy what you're doing. You get your 5 senses involved. Really feel and look at all the different decorations. It's a chance to really witness them again, up close and personal. There's a lot of cleaning to be done when you take the decorations down, but I never do that as I'm going. I swing back around later after the decorations are put away and tidy the mess. For instance, these little trees with the fake flocked snow really leave a mess all over everything. So by the time I've taken all the decorations down today, this house will be a flocked, snowy mess all over the floor. It will need a good dust and a good vacuum to have a home reset before I can put up the few Valentines decorations that I have. I absolutely love the little white houses, and I keep them up much longer, so I'm going to set these white houses aside and put them with some of my other ones on my ledges. And I find that these are great for fall, but they're also great for spring. They look cute almost for seasons. I do take them down in the summer though. For now, I'm just going to take some of my decorations and set them aside. There's a lot of fake leaves and real leaves that fell all over this table. So I definitely need to wipe that up sooner rather than later. Taking down the garlands, bringing all the branches together. I go around and take my snow babies down first. These are a treasure to me that were passed down from my mom. And every year when I put them out and when I gather them up, I really get a good look at them. I remember my mom. It makes me feel amazing just to look at them and know that she's looking down used to set out these snow babies as well as some of these decorations that have been passed down through the generations as well. So it's always comforting to me to put out the winter decorations and to see the winter decorations, because it truly reminds me of home. Christmas is one of the most magical and beautiful times of the year, and it reminds me of my mom like nothing else. And so I love the chance to get to look at them again while I take them down. Again, these beautiful snow babies I wrap and put in a separate box, but the rest of the ornaments and the greenery and the bulbs, I'll just move over to my kitchen island, and they won't need to be wrapped at all. They can just be put in bins in like containers. So just like categories, I have about 3 or 4 bins of Christmas decorations that I store out in the garage. And I'll put all the greenery into one, all the bulbs into another, all the fragiles into one. Things like this. There's a craft that my children made over the years that I put out. So it's just a matter of going room to room, gathering things up, and really making a day of it, enjoying the day, taking the time to remember and to be thankful and to live in gratitude, to make sure that I don't rush in such a way that I feel overwhelmed or exhausted or tired or like I'm in a hurry. I do try consciously to slow down, to breathe deeply, and to really enjoy myself as I go along. Spending time with my dad today is an extra added bonus. He's hanging a few things up around the house, a few pictures and things that I had requested, and at the same time, he's here to help with some of the decorations. And he even said he would help vacuum today, which is absolutely wonderful. My dad is the best, and it's so fun to have a nice day with him, a father-daughter day, every once in a while. Just brew ourselves a drink and get to work together. All the little areas always look so plain and dull when I take everything down. I know when my kids get home from school today, they'll walk in the door and say, "Oh, it looks so plain." Everything always looks plain, but I love the simplicity of plain just as much as I love the coziness of all the winter decorations. So right after Christmas, I do take down any Santa-related decorations as well as the decorated tree. And then the winter decor stays up, like I said, until just before Valentine's Day. I would leave it up all the way until the end of February, but by the time March comes around, I am so ready to start seeing spring and Easter things. I don't want to see another winter thing again. Even though here in Canada, a lot of times we get winter all the way until the end of March. But I've really, really loved this winter decor up for January and part of February because they're just dreary, cold months, and this really helps. Oh, taking the tree apart here, I should have taken the top down first, but I will just move it to the side and lay it down and come back for it. I like to set my flocked trees in baskets, and that way they stay up all winter long. It looks beautiful to turn them on at night. The warm, soft white glow. It helps to feel cozy, and it helps everyone to get in that romantic mood. You can dim your lights way down low, which I absolutely love. Every evening when the sun goes down by 5:30, It's dark in the house, and I just turn on all my candles, and I turn on the warm glow of the Christmas trees, the trees that I still have up. And we don't really need any other lights except for the soft, dim overhead lights that I have in the kitchen. And that's it. I love living that way in the evenings. It's amazing for your circadian rhythm. It's amazing for your biology, and it helps you settle down into a really calming, cozy night where you can get a beautiful night's sleep. I will come back and do a clean of the house, but there are certain things that need a clean right when you're doing them. The floors and the other things can wait, but certain tables need to be cleaned off right away, particularly when they have all kinds of dusty, fake little bits of snow and crystals and bling or pine needles. So it's really nice just to have a nice, clean, simple surface again. I keep a lot of things out still until mid-March, until we really start to see that spring weather. I will keep out my winter pillows. I will keep out some of my fur seating pads and pillows, and of course, the cozy blankets. So although we're getting rid of all the winter decor, I don't put up my spring decor yet, and I let those winter pillows and blankets and the coziness of them linger all the way through Valentine's Day and the cold days of February until we start to get around to about mid-March, March break, when they all go away and everything Easter related comes out. I love these peel and stick white houses. They make everything look so cute in the winter, and I put them on the bottom of all my doors and on some windows. They're very easy to peel off, and I'm just laying them on some parchment paper here so that they can be reused for next season. This is a great reusable item that doesn't cost much but really adds to the look and the coziness of winter. I put them on the bottom of a lot of my doors, and then I put them on some elongated windows. This window in my hallway I absolutely love, and it goes into my master bathroom, so I can see these houses on the other side in the bathroom above the tub, and I also see them in the hallway here. I just love this spot to make a really cozy winter scene. These houses also come with tiny little stick-on snowflakes that I've put up here on this window as well. This takes a little bit of time and patience to take them all down, but again, if you get your 5 senses involved and you practice your breathing and you really practice your meditative practice where you just stay in the moment, counting the snowflakes as you take them off, being present to what's here and what's around you, feeling the sun flood in from the window behind me. When we stay here in a positive frame of mind and we don't let our mind wander, it can be a really beautiful time. I always take my water and vinegar and a specialty window cleaning cloth, and I love doing the windows at this time of year and taking the snowflakes off. But first, I take my vacuum cleaner, I put on the little attachment, and just clean off my ledges here from all those little trees that leave all the fake snow that falls all over everywhere. So cleaning with your vacuum cleaner on the small attachment on all your ledges, especially at Christmas time, can be a really easy way to keep things clean and a really fun way to dust. I have to grab my long attachment, just clean off the bench seat a little bit. Perfect. And now I'm going to take my snowflakes off the window. I drew them on with chalk marker, and so it takes a little bit of elbow grease to get them off because they've sat on there for a few months now. But it comes off fairly easy with water, vinegar, and just a little bit of elbow grease. It looked beautiful, and it's a really cheap, inexpensive way to add to your house to really make it look wintry without a whole bunch of added cost. So I really love that technique, and I do it on my main front windows at the front of the house. I do it on my main doors coming in, and I do it on the few doors in our mudroom. So I do have, a fair bit to take off. So if it gets too much, I take breaks in between windows. Like I said, you do have to rub fairly hard for the chalk paint to get completely off. But it is a nice, methodical, and easy present moment thing to do, to just be in the moment. And in place of those Christmas trees, I'm going to move some of my succulents over to the window ledge now, which means they'll start to get some sun and be bloomed for spring. Just fluffing up my window bench pillows, making sure I've taken any real Christmas pillows away, and I've just left some nice cozy pillows here. Here comes my dad on a mission doing something in the garage, and I'm gonna finish the other windows on my front doors. I love these glass doors. When you come in the front double glass doors, you can see all the way through the back windows toward the lake, and I absolutely love that. Even though some days I think, people might stop and look in my window and I don't have enough privacy, overall, I absolutely love it. And it's not like we're standing in the main hall, often. We're off to the side a little bit, so it's not like people are seeing us all the time. But I absolutely love the way that the natural light flows in from this window. I'm going to clean off my back mudroom windows now. You can see out to the lake from the back of my mudroom. And look at that green grass. It's hard to believe that it's February and we see green grass here in Canada. That is very, very unusual for this time of year. So it really feels like the right thing to be taking down all the winter decorations, especially given the green grass outside and the the warmness of the weather over the last couple of weeks. I heard we're supposed to get some snow next week, so I'm not holding my breath, but it sure has been a lovely little break here for the last couple of weeks. I'm just going to take my tree skirt off, and my husband and dad will take down that big tree tonight. I'm not going to attempt it by myself. It needs a ladder, and so they will do it when my husband gets home from work. Again, on my ledges, rather than dusting them, I like to use my vacuum to get rid of all my dust, and then a quick wipe. But this is just a really good way to get up any tiny little pieces to make it really beautifully clean. And I find it a lot easier and less intimidating than having to wipe the entire shelf all the time. So this will just give it a really good clean after all the little bits from the trees have fallen off. And I am going to keep these white houses up here in my kitchen for Valentine's Day and spring, and they look so beautiful. And so this is a great decoration, one decoration that I'll keep up a little bit longer. Don't forget to stop and look outside and take breaks when you're working. It can be difficult when we get caught up in our tasks and we're almost on a timer. We're almost racing a clock often when we're doing things, trying to get things done. We're pushing and overextending and moving a little too fast and thinking a little too fast. So being really conscious as you go along, to slow down, to move slowly, to think slowly, to slow down your breathing and be in the moment. There is no race. There is no race. If it doesn't get all done, it doesn't all get done. The most important thing is using this as your meditative practice, using this as a way to ground yourself, as a way to get into the moment, to take pleasure in the things that you're looking at. Putting these plants up on my ledge makes me feel so springy, and it gives me some joy, even though behind me is all that work. So taking a sip and stopping to eat, drink your tea, just look around, be with yourself. Remember, you don't have to go so fast. You can take breaks even. That mess isn't going anywhere. So rather than start at the overwhelming mess on my kitchen counter, I'm gonna come and just wrap up my snow babies. And again, I love just seeing them as I put them away, remembering all the memories, remembering my mom, my kids. They just make me feel so happy inside to look at every year, and knowing I'll be seeing them again next winter gives me pleasure as I'm putting them away. So when you're doing things like this, I often find it's a good time not only to practice your presencing and being in the moment and meditating, but also thinking about your future, thinking about what you want for yourself, thinking about who you'll become by this time next year, thinking about your top goal.
What do you mean by
thinking
you're good?
About how you can change and grow and evolve as a human being over the next year until I take these exact same snow babies out again. I could be a completely different person by then, and I love that. So I'm just gonna wipe down my table here because it did get pretty messy in the process. And I'm likely not gonna have time enough to clean the entire house today. So just cleaning up the main areas as I go along and leaving the rest to the next day is really what's important. So the first bin I usually do is my big things. So I'm just gonna put in any big, bushy, branchy items, all of the garlands and the faux greenery and the wreaths. They will all go in one large bin. So that way it's all together and it really gets a lot of mess off of my kitchen island too. This is the bulk of it, all the faux greenery and garlands, wreaths. So I love putting them in one bin first and getting that mess out of the way. It makes the most mess all over the house too. The second thing I do is I have a box of loose leaf bulbs, ones that don't go on my tree, but ones that go around my house for decor. So I do the blue and silver tones, so white, blue, and silver, and I'm putting all those balls just loosely into this bin. And then on top of, once I gather up all the balls, I also have pine cones that I will fill the rest of the bin with. And they're just loose pine cones that I decorate all over the house with. They're large pine cones, and they're ones that my mom actually collected many years ago, probably 20 years ago now, when they would drive to Florida and back, they'd go across the really big pine trees, and she would bring bags of them home. So I've kept them over the years and just decorate with them every winter. So here we are, we're putting those pine cones in the top now and all the loose leaf balls. And these decorations are pretty cheap, and it just adds to the coziness and the festivities all winter long. I absolutely love it. Now I've got some snowman. These are all my stuffed things. So snowman that used to be my mother's. I have gnomes and any little snowman, different things that I put up around the house that is more stuffed and not breakable. I'll put all of these together in a bin, which is wonderful, my little antler head, and that'll all go in a separate bin. Then I'm going to take on my last little bin here and gather up sort of the odds and sods. All of these trees I'm going to place into a bag because they really do shed the snow. And so I'm going to put them all into a kitchen garbage bag so that they all stay together and the snow doesn't fall off onto everything else. When these trees are gathered up, they're going to go in the bin that already contains the box of my snow babies. And I'm going to put any other decor that I find, these last minute things, will go in some of these bins now, because I don't have that many bins left. So again, I'll put those trees in there. My snow babies are in there. And again, some odds and sods, some breakable things, little pots and winter Christmas flowers and little picture frames and snowman, anything that looks a little bit more breakable, whether it's ceramic or tin or glass. And then I'm just going to set all the boxes here, and my husband can put them away tonight in the garage. Now on these white tiered trays, I usually decorate for different seasons, so I'm pulling off all the things that were Christmas related, and I'm going to put them in a big Ziploc bag, because then next Christmas it's easy to remember what the holiday and the winter decor was that I placed on this tray, and I'll be able to get it out and easily add it back onto the tray. Some of the things are not seasonal specific, and they will stay on the tray a bit longer, and then I can add some spring things to this tray and take them away. I can add some Valentines things, and then as we head into summer, I'll add my summer things to this 2-tiered tray. It's a really great piece that you can add different things to all year long, so I love doing that. I'm just going to gather up the rest of these little things, and then it's time to clean off the counter. So the first thing I'm going to do, since there is faux greenery and little pieces of snow and garlands and wreaths all over, I'm just going to gather up all that mess. I almost need a dustpan and a broom, but I'm just going to swipe it with a paper towel to one area so I can dump this into my garbage can. You can't see it on the video, but my island right now is covered in all these little tiny glitter sparkles of snow and silver all over my counter. And so once I get rid of the bulk here, I am going to need to vacuum it. So I'm going to vacuum up all these tiny little glitter dusts all over my counter. And once the bulk of that is off, I can come back and wipe it for a nice shine. So just remembering to take it easy as I work, to enjoy each part of the process along the way. Just enjoy the vacuuming motion, enjoy what I'm doing, being in the moment. And I love wiping, actually. I actually get really soothed by wiping my kitchen island. I find it really calming to see smudges or dust or, anything on it, spots, and then come and do a big wipe and make it look shiny and perfect and new. It gives me this overwhelming pleasure, actually, and I relish in the pleasure of something so simple, of just wiping off smudges and any kind of imperfections and just buffing this big island to a shine. It brings me pleasure. And now I'm going to put back out my orchids that had winter greenery all around them. I'm going to dust off all the leaves. They need to be dusted once or twice a season just to keep them looking fresh and nice. So I don't do the dusting on the leaves as often as I should, a couple times a year, but they definitely need them after the winter season with all the other little glitzy glamour things that were placed around this orchid to winterize it up. Once this is dusted, I'm going to place this in the center of my island, and it's just going to feel so good to see everything clean. And now I'm going to be doing a quick vacuum in the main part of my kitchen here, all the way around my island. As I said, I will probably vacuum the rest of the house tomorrow, but the high traffic areas where a lot of the winter Christmassy dust fell down need to be vacuumed right away. So just vacuuming around my kitchen, around the island, and placing back my stools. And again, it looks so different when I take away all the Christmas decor, all the winter decor. Even though I don't have spring decor up yet, it looks so plain, but I absolutely love it. I love the simplicity of just living a simple life. It's very minimal at this time of year in this season, and I love that. I'm going to get an orchid that's been hiding away, and I know you're not supposed to, but I'm going to be cutting off the ends, just giving it a little haircut because they're so long. This orchid has been around for about 6 years. It blooms 2 to 3 times a year. It goes stagnant in the winter, and I usually bring it out in spring. I'm bringing it out a little early this year because the weather is so great. Usually I don't bring him out again until mid-March, but I'm going to be putting him in a window, and I can already see a couple of blooms starting on this orchid. So it'll be a great time of year to set this orchid out and see if I can rejuvenate him once again. And I'll just set him out in the other room on this table. Can't wait for this tree to come down tonight. And in the meantime, I'm going to wipe off the table and chairs again. This area gets really dusty over the winter. I should really take the entire thing off, but I'm tired after doing all the other work, so I'm just going to do a quick cheat for now, wiping the parts that are exposed. And I will probably vacuum on this little wood mantelpiece here in the middle so that I don't have to take everything off and start over today. I will save that for another day. So I'm just going to vacuum in and around, make sure all the little snow dusts and sparkles are gone from the winter season, leaving a few little candles and bulbs out that look cute. We're still in February, so we still are in the winter season, so not everything needs to be away, but the bulk of the winter things come down, and we just get it ready to celebrate a new season of Valentine's Day and then heading into Easter. So this is a great, easy technique when you're feeling a little bit lazy, is just a vacuum rather than take everything off and wipe and dust. Just another simple trick that I've picked up over the years that I like to use. And even though it's cool, I'm going to open up my doors for the first time this winter and really air things out. I cannot believe that we are seeing grass here in February. This never happens. Usually it's feet and feet and feet of snow. Even the lake, you can see it's only frozen just at the very edges. So it's just amazing. Anyways, I'm going to sit down here and take a break and soak up the sunlight for a few minutes before going back in and just looking around at all the clean work that I've done today. My husband got home and took the boxes out, and now we've finished dinner, and him and my dad are going to be taking the tree down in the background. It's so funny how that tree just adds so much to that corner. It looks so bare now. I'm just going to vacuum up the mess now, all the little leaves and some of the flocked snow that has fallen. While they take the tree and place it into the box, my husband will take out the ladder, and I will be able to move my furniture around back to how I like it, which will be great. Just making sure that they can both turn and moving over my baskets, just kind of getting organized. This basket had a tree in it, so now I can put some more blankets for now in this basket. And we still like to cozy up at night, so the blankets are nice to have handy. I'm going to be putting out some more neutral pillows now, ones that I use in the spring and summer and fall, all season ones actually. I will still leave out a lot of winter pillows. My dad and I are just finishing up by taking the boxes of trees out to my husband in the garage, who's putting them on the top shelf. And so that is great. I'm going to be moving up some plants that I had taken away downstairs and replacing where we had some Christmas trees with some fake fig trees. I'm going to take away the winter specific pillows, but still leave up the cozy winter pillows. So anyone with snowflakes or snowman on them, they're going to go away, and I'm going to have some more neutral, fuzzy, still wintry pillows, but also very non-specific. So it's still going to be cozy. I'm going to add some baskets to my plants here and just kind of look at my shelf. Everything's a bit bare now, so I'm just going to add back in some driftwood pieces and more neutral specific things. I'm just kind of making it look a little nicer. And I do need to still work on this for Valentine's Day, but this is good for the time being. This area, it was a high traffic area as we come through the front hallway here. So I'm just gonna wipe it up a little bit as well and vacuum. Not gonna do too much because it's nearly bedtime. This is after dinner and it's time to sit down and just rest for the night. But just cleaning up these last few minute things, fixing the cords, making sure this area is nice and cleaned after we took the last of the Christmas trees away tonight. Just getting all the little bits that have fallen. And there we have it, a nice clean area to start the day with tomorrow. It's been a good day. I feel good now that all the winter stuff has been put away and some more neutral canvas to start off the day tomorrow. I'm going to be putting up some Valentine's things in the morning, but I feel good about what I've accomplished today. And that's how I always like to end the day, feeling good and positive about what I got done. And the next morning, I placed a few hearts around the house, on top of these houses, on my centerpiece, in some of the different areas, just little wooden hearts, cozying it up for Valentine's Day. My kids felt excited to see me write Happy Valentine's Day with a few hearts on the front door. And it just really brings another level of the warmth, the winter warmth into our house with the cozy blankets and the cozy pillows. And it's like we're all ready for a new season. So I'm wishing all of you a very, very happy Valentine's Day, to remember to breathe, relax, enjoy this season of love, and to make it a season of self-love too. Remember to turn the love in and focus on yourself with self-care, with love in your heart for yourself and your family, to take breaks just like my dogs are doing, to rest, to get out in nature, to rejuvenate, and to spend your time focused on love. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video.